A few days ago, I got to watch the first episode of Netflix's Avatar. The live-action adaptation of the beloved animated series Avatar: The Last Airbender begins its journey with Episode 1, which is titled Aang, not The Last Airbender as it originally was intended to be titled. An episode that sets a high bar for what's to come. Fans of the original series approach this adaptation with a mix of excitement and trepidation, given past experiences with previous adaptations, such as the movie that shall not be named. However, Episode 1 delivers a compelling narrative that honors its source material while introducing fresh elements that enhance the story's depth and reach. The episode does a great job of navigating the rich lore of the Avatar universe, starting from the all-new and original additions to the series, all within the first 20 minutes of the episode, such as the devastating impact of Sozin's comet and the subsequent genocide of the air nomads. In fact, the opening sequence is so brutal, I would advise parents of younger children to watch the first 20 minutes of the show before sharing it with the young ones in their lives. It's necessary as this whole story is based on a violent war, but just keep that in mind. After the original editions of the show, the adaptation quickly goes back to the original source, starting with the discovery of Aang by Sokka and Katara. I should actually specify that the episode ends up adapting the first 3 episodes of the original, The Boy in the Iceberg, The Avatar Returns, and The Southern Air Temple, into one cohesive 1 hour and 1 minute episode. The escalation from Aang's discovery to his capture by the Fire Nation in Zuko and eventual escape with the aid of Sokka and Katara sets the stage for an epic journey, as they move to the Southern Air Temple and eventually in Episode 2, Kyoshi Island. All the while, the adaptation remains faithful to the spirit of the original while carving its own path. The casting and performances are a highlight, with the younger actors, particularly Gordon Cormier as Aang and Ian Osley as Sokka, capturing the essence of their characters beautifully. There was some fear that Aang would be stripped of his childlike wonder, but I can tell you right now that Aang's characterization is the same as the original show. And Gordon does a masterful job handling both the dramatic pieces and the lighter comedic tones. There were several times during the episode where he got me teary-eyed based on his performance alone. While it's true the bending is more brutal in this adaptation, that does not take away from the whimsy at all. And Ian Osley surprised me. I didn't think he would win me over like he did. I wasn't expecting him to be bad per se, but I wasn't expecting him to be as engaging as Sokka as he was. Likewise, Dallas Liu brings a nuanced performance to Zuko, giving a far less melodramatic performance than his cartoon counterpart, which I greatly appreciated. And Gia Wendio, who doesn't have as much to work with in this first episode as Katara, does embody the character's compassion and strength. Now, you may have heard from some other fans who also went to this screening that some of the older cast didn't have some of the strongest performances, particularly Gran Gran. Some felt like Gran Gran's dialogue was stilted and forced, but it never really occurred to me as I was watching it, as it felt like she was an elder in the village retelling the legend of the Avatar. So her performance worked for me. What surprised me, however, was Paul Lee's Uncle Iroh. He didn't give a bad performance, don't get me wrong, but it did feel the most different from his cartoon counterpart, and it'll take some time to get used to. But the genuine surprise for me was the expanded role of Monkey Gyatso, which is a most welcome addition, enriching the relationship between the Master Airbender and his student, Aang. The episode's pacing and direction was mostly well executed, with only minor hiccups in the transition of intense scenes that could have benefited from a moment's pause for emotional impact. In particular, after the tragedy of Aang discovering Gyatso's corpse, it's pretty quickly undercut by a joke made by Sokka. The writing, while not groundbreaking, serves its purpose and maintains the balance between honoring the original and introducing new elements. The direction shines in its depiction of the bending, transforming it into a more visceral and impactful element of the series, underscoring the danger and the beauty of this power. In fact, in one of the earlier scenes, there is perhaps the most beautiful depiction of an airbending tornado, followed quickly by a horrifying firestorm that left me breathless. The cinematography is nothing short of perfect, easily movie quality, with breathtaking visuals that bring the world of Avatar to life like never before. The bending effects are spectacular, with only minor lapses that do little to detract from the overall excellence. There was one sequence of a Katara water ball that I wasn't particularly fond of, and when Aang goes into the Avatar state for the final time in the episode, there was a few close-ups where his face looked like, well, Play-Doh. That said, I had been told that the screening that we saw had some unfinished visual effects, so this might be corrected by the time that it hits Netflix. What's more, the production design and visual style not only pays homage to the animated series, but also elevate the material, grounding the fantastical elements into a tangible reality. It really does feel like you're living in the world of Avatar right from the very first shot of the show. The musical score, with its full orchestral arrangements, enriches the narrative, enhancing the emotional and action-packed moments alike. The sound design complements the visuals perfectly, especially in the depiction of bending, adding a layer of realism and intensity. You guys all know that I talk about the Kyoshi novels over and over, and I cannot tell you, I know I've been talking about the bending quite a lot in this review. The way that bending feels lethal in that book is the same way it feels lethal in this show. And I cannot underscore this enough and how dangerous bending feels in this show. And the music helps this along. The incorporation of the original musical cues, reimagined within this new context, serves as a beautiful nod to the series' roots. Most of all though, this adaptation feels like something I can share with my girlfriend in a way that I felt was more difficult with the original show. I would even go so far as to say is that this opening episode is more engaging and impactful than the original series opener. Like with One Piece and The Last of Us, I think we're going to see a slew of new Avatar fans joining our ranks, and I can't wait to see this franchise expand. Episode 1 is a fantastic first step for Netflix's adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. It captures the magic of the original while offering a fresh perspective that is likely to captivate new and returning fans alike. The episode, which I give a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 if I really want to nitpick it, sets a promising tone for the series, balancing the responsibility of adaptation with the creative liberty of expansion. With its strong performances, impressive visuals, and faithful storytelling, this episode not only reassures skeptics, but also ignites excitement for what's to come. Netflix's Avatar has begun its journey on a high note, promising an adventure that is as wrenching as it is entertaining. If you want to hear more of my unedited thoughts and my initial reaction to the first episode, you can check out this video on screen now. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, peace, love, and remember, be water, my friends.